What is going on, you guys? It is Unsweetened Tea here, back again with another video, and today, PS3 game collection. I want to show you the games that I have for the PS3 in 2018. You guys know I'm not a digital collector, really, by any stretch whatsoever. So I want to show you guys all the physical games I have, and this is by no means to like brag or show off or anything, but I just want to show you guys these games and show you what the systems have to offer, because I actually got a comment the other day on the PSP game collection saying I'm just getting into the system and you have some games that pique my interest, and I really like hearing that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first batch of games here pretty much comes together, I would say. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops. This was the farthest I ever got in the series. I haven't played anything else after that, and I just kind of grew out of it, you know. I really just played these when I was in high school. So the games actually work online. You can play every single one of these with your friends for free on PlayStation Network on PS3 in 2018. That is a fun fact not many people know. So those games that aren't backwards compatible on PS4, you can play on your PS3. Get the machine for $60. That's pretty much what they cost. And these games are really cheap. I saved my stickers, so I'm able to show you what I paid retail for these when I was rebuying my game collection. Look at that, $3.33. For this one, let's see. I know this one was pretty cheap too, Modern Warfare 2, because they had hundreds of copies of these, $2.99. You know, these games sold millions, so there's just so many of them. Look at that, $7.99. That was probably the most expensive one. Just so, like I said, guys, just an example. You can get these games dirt cheap. For under $100, you can go blast from the past and play online. So that's a really fun fact that not many people know. These games are not online anymore, sadly, but the Resistance Fall of Man trilogy, here's all the original games. I actually don't believe these ever got a remaster at all. I'm actually got to look that up, but these games were so good. This was a launch title for the PS3 made by Insomniac, you know, the Ratchet & Clank creators. It was such a good trilogy that at the time was battling with Gears of War, and not many people really even know too much about these games, which surprises me. If you have a PS3, pick these up again. These, like I said, I had to rebuy my collection because I sold it stupidly, but these games are really cheap. These were games that I really have fun playing back when I got my PS3 originally. Here is Metal Gear Solid 4. This game is basically a movie. I mean, this was one of the first games. Now, nowadays, installing a game to your hard drive is standard. People know you have to buy a game and wait. This game took hours to install, and that was a completely new thing when this game released in, I believe it was 2007? No, 2008 when this game came out. It was the PS3's heavy hitter because the launch of the PS3 was so slow, bad, terrible. If you were around at the time, you know, or you can look at my PS3 retrospective. But I really love that system. As you can see, there's so many games. Another really good game. It's so crazy how good this game looked back when it came out, and a decade later, it's just aged so much with the new generation. But it doesn't mean by any stretch it's a bad game. Unreal Tournament 3. I loved this game. I love the gameplay. It was fast, so hectic. You know, the new Quake games that are online look a lot like this, but I can't believe this is a series that is just not being touched anymore. This was the last one, and this is like the only PS3 game that supports a mouse and keyboard. Can you believe that? Like, I'm just stunned by that. Oops, maybe we'll make a video about that. So again, in the same way we were talking earlier, here is the Uncharted trilogy. We have all of these ones. These games were among the first releases, like this, when Killzone 2 came out, when MGS4 came out, really showcased what the PS3 was capable of. I remember on YouTube back in like 2007 when this game came out in 2008, people would say this game had 4D graphics because once you were wet and you came out of the water, you were only wet up to your ankles or up to your knees, wherever you stepped in the water. And at the time, that was pretty revolutionary. And I remember people saying it was 4D graphics, which I don't know, but look that up. It's pretty funny. But this is a fantastic trilogy of games. Again, if you want to pick up the old versions, because these games are all remastered on the PS4, if you want to get the original ones, which still are HD and play in 720 and 1080i, pick these up for really cheap prices. South Park Stick of Truth. Very good game. The graphics look identical to a cartoon. I remember when I was playing this game, one of my buddies was over. He literally forgot that I was playing a game. He thought we were watching an episode. It was the part where we were going through the church and we had to look for the pews to find Jesus. And then we went in the back and there was a boy-sized leash in the Catholic priest's closet. So, I mean, it was a very suggestive, very raunchy game. You know, if you're of age and you play it, it's a very good game. It is much different than the South Park game on Nintendo 64 that I used to play when I was a kid, where I remember it was 4-player split screen, you know, couch co-op, couch gameplay, and you pee on the snowballs and throw them at people. Very suggestive games, they always have been, and this is a good one. Never played the new one, though. Here we have MLB 10 The Show. Again, this was probably like game was probably like $1. The only sport I really understand is baseball. I'm not really too much of an athletic guy. I'm a gamer, you know, as you know. Actually, I don't even think I played this game once, and I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it, but you know me. So right here, waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3, we have Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5. These games are fantastic. I remember when the original Kingdom Hearts launched on the PlayStation 2, I thought to myself, man, you get to play Nightmare Before Christmas level. Look how good this looks. It looks like the movie on PlayStation 2. I was so stoked to play that game, but I was thinking, how is this going to work with Final Fantasy characters? But it did, and it is just such a great game. Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be great. And now that I have the Xbox One, I'll be able to play that game. So these are great little... not trilogy. Well, the trilogy is going to be out, and I guarantee it's going to be a good game. But good games to pick up. Again, they are remastered on PS4, but these versions look great, and they're also really cheap. I recommend picking these up. So here's Final Fantasy X and the X-2. So the Final Fantasy X series was one of the first I ever played. I played some on the Game Boy, but this was the first console one that I had played, and I didn't really understand the turn-based mechanics at the time. But I did grow to love turn-based games, and especially the Final Fantasy series. I have a lot of them on PS1 and PSP, and we'll make a Final Fantasy series talk one day. But great game, again, on PS4 as well. But, again, it's a PS2 game. It looks just fine on PS3. You can pick this up much cheaper. Sly Cooper Collection. I remember getting the first Sly Cooper game when it came out. And it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's been in my top 10 list for a while, and I think it's going to stay there. There's supposed to be a Sly Cooper movie that never came out, and there was another Sly Cooper game, Thieves in Time, but it wasn't the trilogy. I like them in the order they came out. Very nostalgic games for me, and the remaster is fantastic to get because not only is it HD, it's widescreen, but trophy support is great. It was some of my first platinum trophies were in this game just because I loved it so much. Really grew up with it. So here is Sony's answer to Smash Brothers. And this is a decent game, and I cannot believe the roster of characters they have in this game. If you open it up and check it out, the box art on the inside. By the way, I got this game for $2.99 because nobody was buying it at the store. This game did not sell at all. But look at all these different characters from not just Sony franchises, but different ones that they all got together for. It's such a different game. It isn't Smash Brothers, but you know, I have to give credit where credit is due. It's a good game, and just because I really like to collect Nintendo stuff, and I have mostly Nintendo systems, I really do like other things. I give everything a shot. So on the PS3, the Fallouts we got at that time was Fallout 3. This was the first Fallout game I ever played, and it's my favorite one. Very nostalgic game for me. Also in my top 10 list of games. Not really too much of a fan of Fallout 4. This one was much better to me, but this was one of the first open world RPGs I played next to Oblivion at that time. You know, over a decade ago, this was a really expansive, huge, crazy game. It was almost the unthinkable. Like, you could literally live a life of 400 hours, and to me, that just blew my mind back in high school, you know, and I mean, a lot of hours and time wasted in this back in the day. Such a fantastic game. And Fallout New Vegas was the Obsidian game. Now, upon release, this was the thing where I don't know if you guys know this, but this is hailed as one of the best Fallout games ever at this point. But that's only something that's happened over time, because when this game came out, everybody hated it story-wise. It was glitchy to all hell. It was very buggy, especially on PS3. But of course, that was the version I got. But only recently are people saying that this is good, and you know, everybody says Fallout 4 sucks, but once Fallout 76 comes out, people are going to say Fallout 4 was the last good Fallout and whatever. So, you know, just like what you like, people, but it's only new that this game has been getting recognition, and maybe I'll play it on PC or something, but the PS3 version is not it's not good for that. It's very buggy. Fear. I love this game. This game was made by Sierra. I love this game. It was one of the scariest games at the time. It was a straight first-person shooter, but totally horror. Now, Condemned I also loved at the time, but that was Melee, and this is strictly shooting, and it was scary, but the PC version is... PS3 version is garbage. I'm going to say that. It just sucks. But the 360 version is pretty good, and the PC version is fantastic. Heavy Rain. This game is more or less like a modern-day point-and-click. You're more or less reacting to things more so than totally... you know, game playing, but the story is fantastic. It's a very mature game in terms of thematic elements and the way the story unfolds, and sometimes cannot be for the faint of heart. But I like those kinds of things. It's very dark, but if you're into that kind of thing, maybe it's a good thing to, you know, to just you can have some friends over and sit down. You know, you turn off the lights and you can play this game, and you guys can make the decisions together. Killzone 2. When this game came out, it was, again, like I said, one of the first waves of games that was supposed to really show off what the PS3 could do. And I believe, you know, a decade later that this game still is visually impressive. There's a weightiness to the controls that most people don't like. Yes, it takes getting used to. But at the time, I did like this game. And I still do like Killzone. The Last of Us. Now, this is one of the late release PS3 games. I believe it was 2013, the last year that the PS3 was totally relevant, because that's when PS4 came out. But this showcased what the system was totally capable of in a game that really took a lot of people by storm. This is a lot of people's favorite games of all time. In 5 years, it's shown that people really like this story, and it's a really good game. And it's such a departure for Naughty Dog, right? I always think of Jak and Daxter, right, when I think of Naughty Dog, you know, the original trilogy on PS2. Great game. Red Dead Redemption. Rockstar always knocks it out of the park. With GTA to LA Noire to this game, which is no exception to that rule. The new one's coming out again. We'll be able to play that because we have the Xbox One, and the new one looks incredible. But this game, I can't even believe it runs on the PS3 and the 360. It's a big game, right? And it shows its age too when you play it. It sort of chugs along, but it's a great game. Grand Theft Auto 5 in the same way. Basically what I just said about this game is totally applicable to this. We all know what Grand Theft Auto 5 is all about. Again, most of these games are already remastered, but you can get them for this much cheaper price, and they look fine on PS3. And it still has online play for free, by the way. Works in 2018. And the last game is God of War 3. I think the original God of War trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, were fantastic. The new one is a bit of a departure, and people love it. I haven't played it personally. But I did grow up on the first 3, and I really did like God of War 3. Funny story, so before we wrap this up, when I bought this game, you know, my buddy was staying over, and he goes, "Man, I really want to play God of War 3." And I'm like, you know what? I want to get a new game anyway. Here, I'll just buy it. And so I bought it. I think I paid $20 for it. It was when it was a little bit older. And he stayed up and finished the game in like 15 hours. I mean, he just plowed through it, and I just watched. And usually I don't really, you know, try to beat people up for the controller when they play. Some people are real cocky and mean about that kind of thing, but whatever, you know, everybody's got a game, right? But really good game, so gory. When I was younger, I couldn't believe how violent a game could be, but nowadays, I mean, they're really pushing it. And guys, that was a lot of games to talk about, but thank you for watching the PS3 game collection in 2018. Hope you guys really enjoyed. Hope you guys found some games that you enjoyed. Talk about in the comment section below which of these games you have played and what you think about the collection. So, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking time out of your day for watching. And happy gaming.